Morning, everyone. It's 8:30. And being the punctual city that we are going to convene the Redevelopment Agency meeting of December 5th, 2012, which is now called to order. This meeting has been properly noticed and posted in compliance with the open meeting law. These proceedings are being video recorded as well as presented live on KCLV Cable Channel 2 and are closed captioned for our hearing impaired viewers. Please note some customers of Cox Communication who do not have a cable box may view this meeting on digital channel 89.5. The Redevelopment Agency, as well as all other KCLV programming, may be viewed on the city's website at www.kclv.tv. The proceedings will be rebroadcast on KCLV Channel 2 and the website the Wednesday of the meeting at 8 p.m. Also on Friday at 4 a.m., Saturday at 7 p.m., Sunday at 7 a.m., and the following Monday at 1 p.m. This building is protected by state-of-the-art fire detection and suppression sprinkler system. If the alarm should activate during today's meeting, please evacuate using the exits at the back of the chambers out to the mezzanine. Proceed out the double doors to the terrace and down the back staircase. Once outside, assemble on the northeast corner across the street from City Hall at Lewis and 1st Street. Employees wearing safety vests or our city marshals will inform you when it's safe to re-enter the building. For public comment related to items on the agenda, citizen participation and public hearing items, we have available a speaker card which you may complete and submit to the city clerk. Cards are also available online in the clerk's office or at the rear of this chamber. If you do not submit a card, it does not prevent you from speaking under public comment, citizen participation, or specified public hearing items. If there's anyone present today that has the need for hearing impaired equipment, please see our city clerk's staff up front. If you parked in the garage across the street and did not receive a validation ticket as you entered the chambers, please exit to your right and then see the security personnel at the entrance. We will now move on to item number 3. Public comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters on the agenda for action. The amount of time any single speaker is allowed may be limited. All comments made will be cross-referenced to those specific items. If anyone submitted a speaker card or who wishes to speak under this portion of the agenda, please come to the podium and state your name for the record. We will set the time at 1 minute. Hearing none, we will move on to item number 4. For possible action to approve the final minutes by reference of the regular Redevelopment Agency meeting of November 7th, 2012. May I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Move to approve.
Thank you. There's a motion. Please vote. And please post. And please post. And that motion carries. We will move on now to item number 5. This is RA 14-2012, discussion for possible action regarding the reimbursement agreement between the City of Las Vegas City and the Las Vegas Redevelopment Agency, authorizing the execution of the reimbursement agreement and providing for other matters relating thereto regarding the City of Las Vegas, Nevada Tourism District located 4th Street and Stewart Avenue. Redevelopment Area, Ward 5, Councilman Barlow. Note this item is related to item 64, which is R73-2012. Good morning, Mr. Arndt.
Good morning, Mayor Goodman, members of the council. Bill Arndt, Director, Economic and Urban Development. This item before you is to allow the city and the Redevelopment Agency to work in partnership to spend future sales tax revenue generated by the Tourism Improvement District, which the City Council approved by ordinance on September 9th of 2009. We approved this ordinance for the project to be developed by the CIM group, which will comprise additional retail in the area immediately surrounding the Mob Museum. I do have on the overhead an area which is shaded in blue, which is city-owned property, and any sales tax revenue generated after the date on which the Tourism Improvement District ordinance was adopted, the sales tax revenue will be segregated so that 4.875% sales tax will come into the city to offset improvement costs related to the project. The remainder of the sales tax will be distributed throughout the state. The Tourism Improvement District legislation, it's also known as STAR bonds, and this does authorize the city to enter into an agreement with the agency to reimburse it for the cost of acquiring, improving, or equipping the project. And so again, it will be used for infrastructure costs like off-site utilities and parking. Staff recommends approval, and I'll be glad to answer any questions you might have.
Could you explain why the sales tax percentage is what it is rather than the standard 7.25?
The sales tax rate, only a portion of the sales tax rate, the Tourism Improvement District legislation allows us to capture 75% of not the full rate, but 75% of 6.5%. Some is going to mandatory services throughout the state. So it's the way the legislation was enacted. The net effect is for every dollar of new sales tax revenue, 4.875 cents will come into the city, which we can be used for improvements. The other thing I forgot to mention is that this is a limited period of time. It's for a 10-year period of time following adoption of the ordinance. So basically from September of 2009 to September of 2019. So there's a fixed period of time where, to the extent sales tax revenue is generated, it can come in to offset public improvement costs associated with the project.
And this is sales tax only, not room tax?
Sales tax only, correct.
Thank you. Any questions, please, for Mr. Arndt?
I had a question.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
When you say the Tourism Act authorizes the city to enter into an agreement with the agency, who is the agency, just to clarify?
Sure. So we are actually going to have, once revenue starts coming in, we're going to have the City of Las Vegas contract with the City of Las Vegas Redevelopment Agency. The City of Las Vegas will be the fiscal agent, if you will. The city is going to be receiving the funds. It's going to be set aside in a separate account. And then the redevelopment agency, because the agency is typically involved with investing in public improvement costs like utilities, parking, related
So when you
infrastructure.
say here that the Tourism Act also authorizes the city to enter into an agreement with the agency to reimburse it for cost of acquiring and so forth, so that means that our city would be reimbursing RDA?
Correct.
That's okay. It's just when you do these, if maybe you say who this agency is, it helps for people.
Sure. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions, comments? I'd entertain a motion.
Yes, Mayor, thank you. And thank you, Mr. Arndt, for the presentation here today. Can you share as far as the projected plans for the tax increment district? Is that correct, the tax increment district?
I guess we'll just refer to it as Tourism Improvement District
tourism,
to
I'm sorry.
distinguish from
I'm thinking of
typically redevelopment tax increment.
I'm thinking of
Correct.
TID. This is TID, right?
Correct.
Okay. The tourism district, as far as what are some ideas as far as the vision for this specific area? Because a lot of residents don't know as far as what the potential vision of this area could possibly be. So what are some of the things that we're thinking about as far as being able to generate revenue to come back into this specific geographic area?
Thank you, Councilman. The planned project is by CIM. CIM did give an update recently, as you know, on the Grand, and you've seen how they're rolling full steam ahead on the Grand. As a separate project, a separate phase, they're planning to do a retail project consisting of retail stores and also some meeting room space, which would comprise a little bit over 100,000 square feet. So if you look at the overhead, and I'll pop over here to point it out, the portion surrounding the Mob Museum, they're going to be looking to build new retail stores, would likely be something in the vicinity of a three-story project. The parking that they would need, they do some structured parking on site, some surface parking, and then rely probably on parking in the area that CIM already controls. So the area surrounding the museum that the area surrounding the museum is where they're going to be looking to build the retail. As you can see, it's kind of, in a way, landlocked. 4th Street currently runs one way, although there's some plans to change that. And then on the to the west side, it's bounded by the off-ramp from 95-515 at Casino Center. So ingress, egress, getting cars in and out of the site is a bit of a challenge, but the developer is working with us with plans. You as the council will get to see a full set of those plans prior to the project moving forward. So there's some additional approvals still required. You have to approve the site plan, and they're on schedule now to start construction. The plan is for 2014 to start construction.
2014 to start construction?
Correct.
How many jobs are we looking at?
I don't have that number with me, but I can provide that. The retail, I think we're looking at probably about 250 jobs. But
Is that construction, or is that
would be
post?
permanent. There'd be additional construction jobs as well. But on a later update, I can come back to you and give you a full synopsis of what they're looking to build on the project.
And also, please describe the portion outlined in red.
So the part outlined in red, which is butts up against the freeway, that is owned by Nevada Department of Transportation. We currently have a lease at a nominal cost with the state to use that for surface parking. It's coming up for renewal or expiration because we're no longer using that. You may recall when we were at the old City Hall complex, we used that for surface parking as overflow parking for our employees. We're working both with NDOT and with CIM to see if there's interest for CIM, working directly with NDOT to see if there's interest to lease that. But that's their restrictions, because that's right up against the freeway. That's not buildable space, so to speak. So if it does continue for a use, it would likely remain just surface parking.
Surface parking?
Correct.
Yeah. This is really exciting, Mayor, because with all of the activity taking place in and around the downtown, as far as the development of what Zappos is doing to the east of this parcel, of course, the Mob Museum, the downtown Grand is now underway and under construction, and they're due to open what quarter?
They're
October of
third
13.
quarter of 13.
Third quarter of 13. I mean, this is really exciting as far as bringing, this type of activity and revitalizing the downtown, especially the retail component, because a lot of people, when surveyed, was asked, what would attract you to the downtown community once again, as far as the tone now, or the marketing, as far as what is the slogan to come back downtown? Not revisit.
Rediscover downtown.
Rediscover downtown. I was going to say reinvent downtown, but that too, reinvent downtown, rediscover downtown. And having that retail component is what a lot of people are looking for, as far as retail and more restaurants for the downtown area. And so we are most definitely moving in the right direction, and I'm just really excited for all of the activity that's taking place. And so I'll reserve my motion, Mayor, in the event that any other council member may have some comments that they would like to share as well.
Well, I would like to add in, though, in discussing with them, obviously, there's a farmer's market down there on Fridays, and that beautiful little copper-covered old RTC building. But there's talk of, and because of the plans that they've been putting forth for the downtown Grand, which are so exciting, talk of, making that sort of a district that's sort of like Fennell Hall in Boston, where there are a lot of little shops and a lot of interest generated, which would work so well with the Mob Museum. So, I mean, it really is an exciting project to use that and keep that foot traffic and that ambiance of conversation going.
You know, one of the beautiful things is that we have this walkable community concept, and with the residents now coming back online in the downtown, as far as the condominiums being rented out, and some of them even moving forward for sale purposes, the more people we attract to the downtown community, the more we, of course, have to work to make sure that they have all of the wraparound services to keep them in the downtown community. And so we're most definitely on track to do just that. And I can foresee this downtown being a very special place in the coming years. So if no other council member has any additional comments, Councilwoman Tarkanian? Okay.
That's okay. So we will continue to own the land, and then we lease it to SIM for them to build, or what is it? 'Cause they'll build, let's say they build a restaurant there.
Councilwoman, that's generally correct. Our deal, it's a ground lease, so we'll own the land, they'll own the building. They do have an option to purchase it, so we structured an option to purchase, which would allow them to own the land, not the whole site, not the museum itself, just the land surrounding the museum. That's basically just to help facilitate their bank financing if they want to try to get some debt to support the construction. But initially, the plan is for us to ground lease the land. We will be getting rent in, and it's something close to market rent based on what the appraisals came in for the property.
Well, I just would hope that if we do sell the land, we sell it at full market price. We've invested a lot in downtown. Ricky's right, it's gotten so great there, and the land values have gone up. But we have waited a long time for SIM in other projects with which they've been involved. And we have given them breaks so that they could move forward and help develop downtown. I'm just hoping that if we do sell it, we would sell it for fair market price. Because of the breaks that we give to builders, I think we've given already in the way that you're doing this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else, comments, questions? Excuse me, yes, Councilman Coffin.
Thank you, Your Honor. Well, one last comment. I should chime in a little bit on Councilwoman Tarkanian's last remark, because I want to make sure we want to do a deal that's fair, and we want fairness in our favor, too. Is that right? Anyway, we always want to win. We want to make sure, you see, if you put it out to bid later, and an owner has invested considerable, probably millions, we're going to make sure that they're not badly treated on that, because what we've done with fair market value is they've bumped the fair market value for us. So that consideration has to be taken in. That has to be taken into consideration. We want to make sure the record reflects that happens, because if our record becomes kind of, inflexible.
I just want to go on the record in that they have developed the land, but all the land around it, all the tax incentives, everything else we've poured into downtown, all the hard work and effort for which we've paid people to do this, we really, I believe this council, this city, has developed the worthability of the land. So I think we've given a lot of breaks to these people. I notice that sometimes it's the same people over and over, and I'd like to see it more distributed. And I just want to be fair so that nobody can come back later and complain that we, just went in one direction.
Well, I'm a ditto on that, Councilwoman Tarkanian. I think what I was trying to do is make sure the record didn't get complicated by an additional statement of what fair market value might be. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, Councilman Barlow.
Okay, Mayor, I would like to move to follow staff's recommendation of approval subject to all conditions.
Thank you very much. This motion, please vote. And please post.
Your Honor,
Yes, sir.
could I be recorded as having voted in favor of adopting the minutes?
Could you say that more clearly into, we're having a concerned look here. Could you just
Well, it's a
repeat
long
that?
story,
Could you
but-
pull your microphone closer,
Yes, ma'am.
please?
It's a long story. I got into it with Ted Olivas about whether or not I actually had blood. So we went together to donate blood at the blood drive downstairs. That's why I was a little bit late, and I would like to be recorded as having voted in favor of adopting the minutes from the last meeting, which I think was the first action item on our agenda today.
I thought I left humor at home. But thank you, Councilman Beers. I know we're all appreciative that you have been here showing unanimity, except for Councilman Mayor Pro Tem Anthony, who is recovering from some surgery. Thank you. Is that all right, City Clerk?
I assume it's happened before.
You always bring something new to us, okay? You think until we do further research the law and find out you can't retroactively. All right, now we will move on. Thank you. I hope you have enough energy to get through City Council. Councilman Beers here. We're watching you. Oh, good. Carbs. All right, we're moving on to item number 6, citizen participation. Public comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters within the jurisdiction of the Redevelopment Agency. No subject may be acted upon by the Redevelopment Agency unless that subject is on the agenda and is scheduled for action. If you wish to be heard, please come to the podium and give your name for the record. The amount of discussion on any single subject, as well as the amount of time any single speaker is allowed, may be limited. Is there anyone wishing to speak? Look at these lovely ladies coming in under this portion of the agenda. Hearing none, we will move on to item number 7. Agency member recognition. Comments made by individual agency members during this portion of the agenda will not be acted upon by the agency unless that subject is on the agenda and scheduled for action. Is there any member of the Redevelopment Agency who wishes to speak under this portion of the agenda? Any other comments? Goodness, hearing none. This Redevelopment Agency is adjourned. We will start our City Council meeting in 7 minutes, which is at 9 a.m. Thank you very much.